Peace, War Hercules back here with another video again. My apologies for the delay. I know it's been some time since I gave you a video, but I had a topic in mind of what I was going to talk about, but then like right before I started the camera, I thought about a whole different topic that I think is much more interesting to talk about. And not letting things steal our joy. So for me growing up, I always had like extreme anger issues, right? And we talked about how anger is a secondhand emotion, and it's not really anger that we feel. It's just the way the things present itself. It's really the hurt and the pain that we experience that just speaks as anger, or is interpreted as anger when we really have deeper things going on into our life. But not letting things steal our joy. Like me, like I have a lot of anger issues where I'm quick to get frustrated. You know, especially when people don't understand things that I think to be common knowledge or common sense, or a message that I'm trying to communicate that I feel as if I'm communicating it as clear as day, right? But other people may not be interpreting it in that manner. You understand what I'm saying? So for myself, I gotta stop letting things steal my joy so easily. Like something small will happen and I would let that little small trivial thing take over my entire day. It just would ruin my energy and my vibe for the entire day, because I would just be so caught up and so fixated on that one thing, which causes me to lose out on so much of that day. You know, I take every day as kind of like a fresh slate. And what I mean by a fresh slate is every day is a new day to learn something. Every day is a new day to be better than what you were yesterday. We all have 24 hours in our day to make the most out of our lives. So for me, you know, I'm really trying to learn to not let things steal my joy, my energy, because time is precious. You know, time is just one of those things you don't get back. And even looking back on like relationships and things like that, a lot of people spend their time hating their ex-partner, or hating their mother, or hating their father because of their living situation, or their childhood wasn't the greatest, or an ex-partner might have broken their heart or cheated on them, or whatever the case may be. But you giving them so much power over your life is, I think we don't understand that. And then we spend so much of our time being hurt by the situation that we look back and look how much time was lost because we were still holding on to something that happened to us 10 years ago. Now, don't get me wrong, there might have been injustices done to you, or things might have happened that may have warranted you to hold on to that or never forgive that person, or to continue to be angry about the situation. But it's only your life that you're wasting. So when I came to that realization that this is really my life that I'm wasting, it's my time that I'm wasting, and especially after losing my grandmother in November, it really just showed me that time is precious. For one, that was my first time in 22 years of going to a funeral. Never been to a funeral a day in my life before that. Never lost anyone close to me, so I was very, very blessed to have a lot of my family members here with me throughout my life. But going through that experience really just taught me that time is very, very, very precious. And there was a lot of time for me spent reflecting, wishing I had certain time back, right? But that's just for me in that situation. But applying that to the topic as a whole, we shouldn't allow things to really consume us to that level to where it steals part of our lives. So many of us spend so much time of our lives hating one another, hating a parent, like I said, ex-loved one, over something that we thought was bigger. It might even be a big deal. But I also want you to consider how that is affecting your life. Because even though you may not think it, or you may not even, most people may not have been holding on to seeds of hatred for so long that we don't even realize that it's still there. We don't even know how it affects our day. And I call it seeds of hatred because that seed is planted and that hatred begins to grow, right? And that hatred begins just like a seed. If you ever plant or garden and you put seeds too close to each other, they won't grow, or you might have one seed or a specific crop that's going to dominate the nutritions in the ground. And I feel as if we're the exact same way. We plant those seeds of hatred and they grow and they affect other areas of our life without us even realizing it, because we've been holding on to it for so long. For some of us, it might be a parent, right? Or this parent wasn't in my life, or my mother wasn't the greatest, or my father wasn't the greatest, or they were drunks or addicts. Yeah, that is very, very true. But look how much time you're spending holding on to the situation. Look how this is affecting your life. Look at how your father not being there, your mother not being there has affected the relationships you have with men, or the relationship that you have with women, or how you can't trust anybody. Those are things that we're still holding on to. So when people say like I got trust issues, or I got this issue, I got that issue, that is a clear indicator that they are still holding on to something that they do not want to let go, that they do not want to release from their lives. So think about how those things that you hold on to, take years away from you. Take years away from you. And just to be a little bit more intimate, I've forgiven people in my life for things. I haven't forgot about it, and I wouldn't say I've 100% forgiven people, because there are some days they're better than others. There's some days where I'm able to just to shrug it off, but there are some days where it really weighs heavily upon my mind. But that's a part of the healing process of going through those ups and downs, and then it begins to even itself out. But I had to forgive my mother and my father for some things in my life, and since I've took on that journey of healing, there are some things that you have to let go. And once I fully realized what I was doing, because like I said, a lot of us hold on to it for so long, it becomes an unconscious thing at that point in time, and then it just begins to steal parts of you, the better parts of you, because you're still holding on to this thing. So yes, things can happen, and it can take away your day, but it can also take away years on your life. So that's what I'm trying to work on, and I'm still working on my anger issues, and me not getting so easily upset about things, and not letting those things ruin my day, because I'm missing out on so much opportunity